I have an absolutely heartbreaking story to update everybody on. CBS News says Hurricane Maria caused an estimated 2,975 deaths in Puerto Rico, new study finds. Hurricane Maria killed far more people in Puerto Rico than initially thought, accounting for an estimated 2,975 deaths on the island from September 2017 through February 2018, according to a new analysis. The study found that those in low-income areas and elderly men were at greatest risk of dying. The independent analysis was commissioned by the governor of Puerto Rico and conducted by researchers at George Washington University's Milken Institute School of Public Health. So, the initial estimates were nothing like this. Right after the storm, they said, 16 people died. Then that ticked up to 64. Then now it's 2,975. And there was even a Harvard study that said over 4,000. Devastating. Absolutely devastating. Now, I want to remind you what President Numbnut said in the fallout after the storm. This is soon after the hurricane. Remember, Trump visited Puerto Rico. Here's what he said.
Now, I hate to tell you, Puerto Rico, but you've thrown our budget a little out of whack because we've spent a lot of money on Puerto Rico, and that's fine. We've saved a lot of lives. If you look at every death is a horror. But if you look at a real catastrophe like Katrina, and you look at the tremendous hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that died, and you look at what happened here with really a storm that was just totally overpowering. Nobody's ever seen anything like this. And what is your death count as of this moment? 17?
16 certified.
16 people certified. 16 people versus in the thousands. You can be very proud of all of your people, all of our people working together.
You know, it's not a real catastrophe like Katrina. It was immediately after it happened. Trump's whole purpose in the framing of Hurricane Maria was to say over and over, this isn't my Katrina. No matter what you say, this isn't my Katrina. There's no way this is my Katrina. Don't ever think of it like that. And so he went out there and made points like this. Now, first of all, do I even need to bring up this point? Is Trump going to update his claims now? Will you see a Trump tweet about the deaths in Puerto Rico? Will Trump do anything now? What's happening now for the people of Puerto Rico? How are things going now? By the way, we're in the next hurricane season, and they're still very vulnerable. So, we can do, as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez points out, and I think this is a great point, I think it's time for like a new Marshall Plan where we rebuild Puerto Rico. They are U.S. territory, by the way. So they're U.S. citizens. So 2,975 deaths at a minimum. Again, I told you a Harvard study found over 4,000. This 100% is his Katrina. And listen, maybe I wouldn't make that point as vociferously and aggressively if there was some sign that he actually gave a shit and was trying to do something today to fix the situation and help the people of Puerto Rico. But no, and here's the point, guys. Donald Trump cared much more about the perception of what was happening than the reality of what was happening. So in other words, as long as you believe that, the death count was low, then he's happy. When it turns out the death count is actually really high, he doesn't give a shit. Because all that mattered was the perception. As long as you think he did a good job, even if the deaths are 10,000, he wouldn't care, and he doesn't care. And to this day, he doesn't care. And his actions speak louder than his words on this front. So if he was out there pushing for more aid to Puerto Rico, a new Marshall Plan type move, well then, okay. But he's not. He's not talking about more aid there. He's not talking about a Marshall Plan type move. He's not, updating his claims. He's doing none of that because all he cares about is the perception, not the reality. He's playing president. And Bush handled Katrina in a disastrous way. Donald Trump handled Maria in a disastrous way. And the thing that's so nuts is this. This isn't even going to crack the top 20 scandals for Trump in the eyes of the mainstream media. Now, I think it should. It should, because this is a very serious issue where so many people were affected. People's lives were destroyed. But, they're going to put so many other things above it. Things that shouldn't go above it, they will put above it. So it just shows you how broken not only our government is, but also our media and what we prioritize. Because these are real lives that were destroyed. And we're not even talking about it. There's not sufficient coverage of this, and the president simply does not give a shit. And I don't even think that's a controversial statement. I think that's like a rather obvious statement.